Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another Instant Deck Tech. As you know, Monday means it's Modern Monday here on Instant Deck Techs, and we have a super sweet one this week. Today we're looking at Green Red Marvel Breach, which is a new brew from Pro Tour champion Sean McLaren. So congrats to Sean on a super sweet deck. A quick reminder before we break it all down, if you enjoy this deck and you want to see it made into videos, take a minute, click the like button, the subscribe button, leave a comment, anything you can do to support your deck, because whichever deck is most popular gets a shot at being made into videos next week. So one of the most powerful things you can do in Modern is cheat really powerful creatures like Emrakul, Aeons Torn, and Worldspine Worm into play early in the game on turn 3, turn 4, turn 5. So we see quite a few decks built around this. Through the Breach decks, Goryo's Vengeance decks. So this isn't all that uncommon. Emrakul or Worldspine Worm are pretty good at closing out the game on their own if you get them down early. Emrakul's the most guaranteed way to win the game because not only do you get in for 15 in the air, but you also annihilate away your opponent's board. If you do that on turn 4, you're pretty much wiping out your opponent's entire board, lands and all. Worldspine Worm gets in for 15 with Trample, and then when it dies, you get 3 more 5/5 worms with Trample, so another 15 power, which means if you attack with it once, then you get the worms, attack with the worm tokens, it's usually going to close out most games. As with other decks, the Breach part of this deck is Through the Breach, a card that 5 mana, put a creature from your hand into play with haste. You got to sack it at the end of your turn. So if you get up to 5 mana, you just put a hasty Emrakul or Worldspine Worm into play. So far, this is pretty typical. There's a lot of decks that use this combo, or a decent amount. It's a very known combo, part of various decks in Modern. So we know what's going on here. The unique part of this deck is it's using standard All-Star Aetherworks Marvel as another way to cast your Emrakuls or your Worldspine Worm. So the trick with Aetherworks Marvel is figuring out how you're going to make enough energy for it to work. If you can consistently have the energy and you can activate this on turn 3, turn 4, you're going to have another Through the Breach. And remember, you actually cast the card, so you get the take an extra turn trigger with Emrakul, super powerful, just very unbeatable. So the way the deck makes energy is actually pretty unique. The key combo piece is Greater Gargadon. So a 10 mana 9/7, but it has Suspend 10 for 1 red mana. So you can exile it for 1 mana from your hand, and then it has the ability to allow you to sack an artifact, creature, or land to remove a time counter from Greater Gargadon. So not only do you get a 9/7 eventually, but it's a free sacrifice outlet that you can use up to 9 or 10 times while it's suspended. So the synergy is, you get your Marvel down, you have a Gargadon suspended, you can sack whatever's on the battlefield, your creatures, your lands, and not only are you ticking down the counters off Greater Gargadon, but you're getting the energy you need for Aetherworks Marvel. We also have some more straightforward energy producers, Attune with Ether, just like standard, even a Wood Reaver's Puzzle Knot, and Ether Hub, which is seeing play across formats now as an untapped dual land that also makes energy. As far as the rest of the deck, Mind Stone and Wall of Roots just help you ramp into your stuff a little bit quicker. Through the Breach on turn 5 is good, Aetherworks Marvel on turn 4 is good, but both of those cards are better if you can cast them on turn 3 instead of turn 4 or 5. So these cards help you do that. Wall of Roots also does a little bit of defense. Mind Stone, you can sack it to draw a card. And then we have Ancient Stirrings to help cycle through the deck. It finds colorless cards, which includes your lands, it includes your Wood Reaver's Puzzle Knot, it includes your Emrakul if you want to Through the Breach it, but most importantly, it's a way to find your Aetherworks Marvel. So as far as the mana base, we get some fetches, get some shock lands, some basic lands, Copperline Gorge is an additional duel, God's Eye Gate of the Riki, a colorless untapped uncommon legendary land that whenever it dies, you get a 1/1 spirit token. So this, when you sack it to your Greater Gargadon to generate energy for your Aetherworks Marvel, you get a 1/1, and then you can even immediately sack that 1/1 to get another energy, get another counter off Gargadon. So it's kind of 2 energy plus 2 counters off Gargadon. And then Ghost Quarter. Sideboard-wise, for Nahiri the Harbingers, if you're looking to cheat things into play, Nahiri is another interesting option. If your opponent can Stony Silence to shut down Aetherworks Marvel, Nahiri can take that slot. Then we have some aggro stuff in Anger of the Gods to wipe the board, Courser gains some life, and Spellskite for protection. And then in counterspell matchups, we get Defense Grid, which is a really good way to lock counters out of the game, and a Boseiju, which just straight up makes an instant or sorcery uncounterable, like your Through the Breach, for example. And then just a couple Relic of Progenitus to fight against Dredge, Snapcasters, Tarmogoyfs, and that is Green Red Marvel Breach for Modern, and that's been our Instant Deck Tech for today. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will talk to you soon.